Welcome to the Israel Daily News Podcast. I'm your host, Shanna Fold, and I'm here to get you caught up quickly. I've got some top news stories for you today from Israel, and guess what? You're listening, so you're already on top of your game. Survive and thrive, people. Knowledge is the best weapon. Today is Wednesday, April 30th, 2025 in the Gregorian calendar, and the 2nd of Iyar in the Hebrew calendar. Today is Yom HaZikaron, a sad, sad Memorial Day in the land of Israel. Tonight at sundown, the sadness will turn into celebration as the country and the Jewish world celebrates the 77th birthday of Israel with Yom Ha'azmaut, or in English, Israel Independence Day. We have a loaded show for you with some updates about fires in Israel and a special highlight on the American Forum for Israel with Ilana Kozak, representing Slate 21 in the World Zionist Elections. This show is being sponsored by the American Forum for Israel. Thanks to them for their big Zionist work, and we cheer them on as they race toward the last day of the 39th Zionist Elections, which comes to a close on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Now, let's get to the news. The annual torch lighting ceremony marking the transition from Yom HaZikaron to Yom Ha'azmaut has been canceled due to strong winds in the Jerusalem area, as well as enormous blazes in the Judean Hills. Transportation Minister Miri Regev, who was coordinating and officiating the ceremony, held a situational assessment in which the decision was made. Regev said the decision was made due to the potential for serious damage and risk to human life. The annual ceremony marks an emotional transition from sadness to joy. Regev said that the footage from the main dress rehearsal would be broadcast tonight instead. All national public celebrations have also been canceled, and the public has been urged to stay indoors. Israel's Fire and Rescue Authority alert level has been raised to the highest level and has closed Highway 1. Unit 669, the IDF's elite airborne combat rescue and evacuation unit, has been deployed to Highway 1 to conduct rescue operations amid the intensifying Jerusalem Hills fires. This specialized unit is trained for complex extraction missions and medical evacuations in challenging environments. The areas of Nachshon, Latrun, Neve Shalom, and Park Ayalon have been evacuated. 7 people were lightly injured along Route 1 in Sha'ar Hagai. All communities in the Mate Yehuda Regional Council are preparing for possible evacuation. Authorities are coordinating readiness across the area in response to the ongoing wildfire developments. 120 firefighting teams, 12 planes, and 5 firefighters are working to contain it. The fire is moving toward Modi'in and Mevo Haron. Multiple fires continue to rage across the country. 1 firefighter was injured. 5 civilians, including 2 infants, sustained minor injuries. A fire truck was destroyed during operations. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has requested international emergency assistance and is on his way to the area for a situational assessment. All Independence Day celebrations at the national level have been canceled. Last night, the Israel Daily News attended the Tel Aviv main stage to honor the lives of fallen soldiers in battle. A dozen or so individual stories were shared, including one of a young Filipino man whose father was deported from the country because he wasn't a citizen, but that young man continued to live in Israel and join the army. He fell in battle. That story was gut-wrenching and the only one that was told in English. Famous singers, musicians, and actors came to the stage to bring solemn songs and honor this heavy Memorial Day as the country mourns the hostages who have not yet made it home from captivity in Gaza. Let's hear the sentiment of the public through the voices of a couple of women we spoke with after the event came to a close.
I can tell you that my son, he did 250 days since October 7. My daughter, she's standing here behind me. She just called for a Tzav Shmone and she's going on Sunday. She did almost 200 days. And my husband, he's still in Tzav Shmone since March, the beginning of March. And it's a very difficult day this year, especially after those 2.5 years of so much death around us, so it's very difficult.
Do you think it's important to have this day?
Yeah, it's very important because it's one day that we stop for a minute and think of those who gave their life for us to be here today.
This day comes just before our Independence Day for a reason, because without these people, we wouldn't have been here. And these, like the soldiers, and of course all the fallen heroes from terror attacks as well. It's all because we're Jewish and we live in Israel, and this is our homeland. This is like the bare minimum I can do to remember these people and get to know them and their stories. And it's not exactly a thank you, but it's the least I can do to honor them and to really like take it in.
I want to thank all of you for your interest in Israeli affairs, Israeli politics, or world politics. I also want to thank all of you who personally finance and fund the Israel Daily News podcast with monthly contributions. You can support us by going over to our website, israeldailynews.org, and clicking on donate. The Patreon link is over there, and you can send us a monthly donation or a one-time donation. Our organization is operational thanks to listeners and supporters like you. Thank you to Marianne Follinger for her monthly support. In response for your contributions, I'll send over a handwritten thank you note to show my appreciation. Follow us on social media at israeldaily.news. We're on X, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Our Instagram page has nearly 15,000 followers. You can also follow my personal page at Shanna Fold. My name has 2 N's in it, and I'm very sensitive about that. And now let's hear from Ilana Kozak, running for Slate 21 with the American Forum for Israel. We have a special interview with her. Welcome to the Israel Daily News. Ilana, we are happy to have you here to talk about your slate for the World Zionist Congress election. This is the 39th election. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Shauna, for having me. Today feels like a especially important day for me to be here, and it's an honor and a pleasure.
Ilana Kozak, you are an Israeli-born woman who is now residing in Brooklyn, New York. So you truly understand both the Israeli world and the American one, which I think is really key for this. You're an MBA candidate at the Baruch Zicklin School of Business. She oversees free Hebrew language programs through the Department for the Promotion of Aliyah World Zionist Organization, or WIZO. And this organization has helped thousands of diaspora Jews deepen their connection to Israel. Ilana also organizes events, mentors students, fosters Jewish identity and pride. Guided by the principle, strong diaspora support equals strong Israel, Ilana focuses on growing educational and cultural initiatives, mobilizing community advocacy, and engaging younger generations on college campuses to ensure Israel's security and long-term future. Ilana, again, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Ilana is running with the AFI Slate number 21, which is the American Forum for Israel. The organization has been dedicated to advocating for Israel's security and ensuring powerful representation of American Jews at the World Zionist Congress since 2002. They fight to advance the interests of Jewish people globally and locally by organizing events at the United Nations, hosting exclusive gatherings with city officials, including the New York City mayor, and engaging New York Assembly members and the Association of Russian-Speaking Police Officers. AFI has raised significant funds for Israeli initiatives like providing bomb shelters at Barzilai Hospital here in Israel in Ashkelon, mobile shelters in southern Israel, and computers for schools in the southern border community of Sderot. Ilana tells me her slate is fighting hard these days for against anti-Semitism and stands proudly against hypocrisy and lies about Israel. I'm very much looking forward to getting into this interview with you, Ilana. I think that it's going to be really great for us to talk about the connection between Israel and the United States, which is something that I think that you work on tirelessly. And I'd love for you to just share a couple of words about what you've been working on lately with your slate number 21.
Sure. So thank you for that. That's a beautiful introduction. So first of all, American Forum for Israel, Slate number 21. We're a proud, unapologetically a pro-Israel slate. We believe that we have to do everything in our power to protect, to guard Israel, and that's our slogan, Guard Israel Now, because now more than ever, we cannot afford to be quiet. We have a voice, we have duty to our people, to our future generations, to our past generations to do something. And now is the time. Now is the time that every vote could really make an impact. And I'm here today to talk about why American Forum for Israel is the slate that people should vote for. In my opinion, I see it firsthand. We have a proven track record with real impact. It's not just talk. This is what I do primarily. It's my job, and I see the results that have come up from past elections. I'm really looking forward to the future and making Israel stronger for us, for our children, for our future generations. And, take a clear stand against anti-Semitism is, of course, a priority, like you said. We are doing a lot more than just, words. We have programs in place, we have aid, we have a lot of initiatives that work in our local communities here in the US that really strengthen Zionist presence. We shift our focus to where we lack resources, and I think that makes us unique. What I do specifically in, the Jewish organization world is I lead one of the largest Hebrew learning initiatives worldwide, where hundreds of, and even thousands of people in the past couple of years have had a free opportunity to learn the Hebrew language, which I believe is the first tool that we can give people here in the diaspora to connect to our homeland. And I was able to do that because of funds and budgets that have been secured through the Slate in the past years.
Ilana, I think that that's amazing. And I am really personally inspired by your work and inspired by the amount of effort that you put in on a day-to-day basis to bridge communities between Israel and the US. And one thing that I think is really important is for people to really understand both cultures. And sometimes it's hard, I think, for Americans to understand the needs of Israelis. And I think that it's hard for Israelis to understand the needs of Americans. So I really can't think of a better individual to be in this role than you. And certainly learning Hebrew is something that can really connect all of us through language. And it sounds sometimes cheesy or corny, but really being able to speak to somebody in their language, and especially to connect Jews to one another through our ancestral language, is a huge, big deal. So kol hakavod.
Toda.
Ilana, you're originally from Israel and now empowering diaspora Jews. What drives your passion for this work?
Look, I grew up in Israel knowing what it means and feels having a homeland, right? In Israel, in schools, they're very good about developing this patriotism for the country. And, I'm very connected to Zion. Everybody knows that about me. It's my whole identity. But now living in the United States, I really do see how Jews crave that connection. Like I said, language is one tool, culture, traditions, purpose, right? I work with college students. I work in our local communities with people that they just want to belong to something. And we give them that opportunity. And I think that that's something that you can't take away from the Jewish community. We're very good about giving resources and tools. And I do have a strong belief that every Jew, no matter where they live, deserves a strong relationship with Israel. And this is why I chose to run for Slate number 21, because I feel that, like you said, I don't know if there's a better person than me in my role. I see firsthand the results and how budgets that are allocated could fund and be driven towards initiatives that really make that connection for people.
Slate 21 stands for Strong Action-Oriented Zionism. What makes your slate different from other slates in this election? This is the 39th election. And what specific policies and items are you and your slate fighting for?
We're definitely different, and here's why. We don't just talk, we deliver measurable, actual results. American Forum for Israel and people that stand behind us aren't afraid to fight for what matters. Like I said, allocating budgets in communities where they're needed, for initiatives that matter, for things like Aliyah, land development, making Israel strong, Jewish education in the diaspora, and really bold pro-Israel advocacy that I think is really the gap and filling in that gap of what matters.
I like to hear that. I think it's important to remind people that it's not all talk, because there are a lot of different Jewish organizations that do work. And it's important to know that if you're joining onto an organization or voting for an organization, you can feel that your impact is going to be strong and be immediate and actionable. Your Slate, the American Forum for Israel, has raised funds for shelters, schools, and critical infrastructure, which is so important right now, actually, as we're in a war. Critical infrastructure sounds kind of, like a throwaway term, but here in Israel, when we're dealing with rockets flying overhead and actually touching down, critical infrastructure is critical. How does your team decide which projects to support, and what would you say are some of the priorities for the next Congress term?
Some of the things that I'd like to see, and I'm fighting for, which are top priorities, is increasing support to Olim. We think Aliyah to Israel has to continue no matter what. We just went through Yom HaShoah, the Yom HaZikaron, and we see that how much effort goes into fighting for our land, and that cannot go in vain. We have to make sure that our people, our country flourishes and develops, and only people could build a strong Israel. And I think that that's really an urgent matter that I personally would like to oversee. And strengthening Jewish identity and programs in the diaspora. I mean, we see what's going on globally, the anti-Semitism, what's going on our American college campus. It's a lack of information, and we have to be more active and push pro-Israel advocacy. We just cannot afford to be silent right now.
Absolutely. It's so many people that I know are tucking in their Jewish star, putting their peyot, the side curls, tucking behind the ears, wearing their kippot, their yarmulke underneath a hat. So many people are going into hiding. And I think that what you're talking about is so important, because right now what we need to be doing is actually the opposite. People need to be more visibly Jewish, more stronger, because what happens, and we have so much historical evidence to show, is that the more that the Jewish community hides and the more that the Jewish community retreats and doesn't communicate with the outside world and doesn't band together, the worse things get for the Jewish community. Would you say that that's true?
Historically, always. And, we're smart people. We have to look at history and understand that never again is now.
I think that this really brings us to our next question. You've worked to bring younger generations into the Zionist fold. What's your vision for engaging college students and young professionals today? What would you say is needed?
I think mentorship, the lack of information, the lack of pro-Israeli hasbara is a big issue that I see on college campuses. And I think that mentorship, leadership, more classes that are focused on the direct involvement for, Israel-focused initiatives and projects is what is required right now. We cannot shy away from that. Like I said, we cannot afford to not do that right now, especially with the younger generations. They need a purpose, and we need to give it to them. They need a place to come to and feel safe, a place to come to and be heard and understood, and help them have the tools to fight the world.
Thank you so much, Ilana. You certainly have my endorsement, and I really look forward to seeing you continue to be a leader of the Jewish people and of the state of Israel from your post in Brooklyn, New York, a place that I know very well. So thank you so much for joining us today, and b'hatzlacha, good luck.
Thank you, Shana. Toda rabba.
All right. Well, that is it for today's show. Today is Wednesday, April 30th, 2025. Tel Aviv has a low of 19 degrees Celsius and a high of 32 degrees. That's 67 degrees Fahrenheit for the low, going up to 89 for the high. We are everywhere. Don't forget to sign up to our Israel Weekly News Wrap. The Israel Weekly News Wrap is a newsletter with the top 5 stories coming out of Israel from throughout the week, and of course with a personal note from me at the top. You can sign up for that at israeldailynews.org. I'll send you off with a song called Yehie Tov by Morty Weinstein, Nicole Raviv, and Idan Tamler. It translates to, "It'll be good." I hope this song is meaningful to you all on this somber day.
בסוף זה רק אני ואת פה, בסוף היום יש שקט באוטו, החדשות עברו ליד האוזן, ואמרנו תודה על עוד יום לא, מנסים לכבוש את העולם רק, לנקות את הלב מהאבק, עוצרים בצד הדרך, מסתכלת בעיניים שאני אומר לה, גם אם יישרף הכסף, נשב ונצחק במרפסת, אני ואת והשקט, לא צריך כלום קרן שמש. גם אם ייקח לנו זמן, תראי שהכל מכוון, נשב מסביב לשולחן, אני מבטיח לך שבסוף יהיה טוב, הפרחים ישובו לפרוח, תראי שיהיה טוב, יהיה טוב, גם אם יש עוד דרך לעבור, בסוף יהיה טוב, הפרחים ישובו לפרוח, תראי שיהיה טוב, יהיה טוב, יהיה טוב, יהיה טוב, גם מתוך החושך ידלק האור. רק אנחנו בחדר, מה עברנו בשנה זה כמו 10, לא זה לא במילים זה התדר, ניסיתי לעשות לנו סדר, לפעמים רואים רק את הסדר, נמצא את הדרך בלי נדר, הזמן טס כל כך מהר, אנחנו בטח לא נזכור את מה שאין, רק מה שכן, אפשר לעזוב את העיר, ניסע על הכביש המהיר, העתיד תמיד מזהיר, לא צריך כלום רק אוויר, נמצא איזה אור שבור, נחיה שם כאילו ברור